In this video we go looking for a bird that we missed on a previous video, we go on a wild goose chase, and we play a massive game of Where's Wally looking for a rare gull. Morning folks, we are at Cly Pools, not far from where we live. It's only maybe up 20 minutes or so. We're looking for a potential snow goose that was here yesterday, a dark phase one, or blue phase I think they call it. It's a bit of a rarity, so let's see if we can find it. It was a reasonable day, although windy, with some cloud cover, but the sun was starting to come out. We looked over the pool to see the obvious Canada geese, but from the first viewpoint at a farm gate, we could only see a portion of the pool, so we moved along. At another break in the fence, we saw some more of the pool. Kaylee looked over and spotted this rook on the far side. And a little further down from the rook, there was this group of stock dove that were feeding amongst the stubble on the bank. Then a few geese came into sight as the sun came out, including our snow goose. It swam about in the middle of the pool amongst all the other more common geese, like the Canada geese and the greylags. The group of geese that the snow goose was in slowly drifted towards us. At one point, they all flew and landed very close. The snow goose landing in the shallows where it could stand up. This snow goose is a blue phase snow goose, which means instead of being almost completely white like a lot of the others, most of its body, other than its head and neck and some of its tail, are dark. This very beautiful little goose stood and preened for quite a while whilst we watched it, battling the wind a little bit sometimes, and finally swimming off a little and going to sleep. What a great bird to see so close to home. Hey folks, we've come to Cly Pools, and after a little bit of searching, on the far side of the pool was our snow goose. Yay! Which is a lifer for both of us. Oh, no, it isn't a lifer for me. I've had one before.
It's definitely a lifer for me.
It's definitely a lifer for Kaylee. I had one back in, years ago, 2003 or something. This is a blue phase one, which means it's kind of got a dark body
It's a bit grey
and like a white head. But it's a really cool bird to add to our year list. Right, we're going into North Wales now on a few chances. So, fingers crossed. We said goodbye to the snow goose and some of the farm animals that were near it, and headed to Horton's Nose on the Welsh coast to look for the black redstart we'd missed in one of our previous videos. It had been reported there on previous days, and we were unlucky to miss it last time, so we headed there. When we arrived, there were a couple of other birders there who told us it wasn't present. So I had to walk down to the sea, and as we walked back, the black redstart arrived. It was deceivingly camouflaged, but did move around a lot amongst the low vegetation and moss on the floor, occasionally sitting on rocks or branches to give us slightly different views. It wasn't always the easiest bird to keep on the camera, as it was extremely mobile, hopping around the floor. At one point, I tried to get some footage of this lovely meadow pipit that was feeding on the same piece of ground, and the black redstart decided to photobomb for a bit. These birds do breed in the UK, generally in very localised urban environments. In winter they disperse and usually turn up in coastal areas. This lively individual is a female, and eventually she stayed still for a moment, which was great for photographers. But then she flew off onto a fence post. Although an amazing bird to spend time watching, a storm was coming our way, so it was time to move on before it hit. It's windy out there. We got here and we found it. It didn't take too long. When we arrived, it wasn't here, and I had to walk literally along the path, walked back, and another birder had found it. And also one of the local birding oracles, Tony Pope, was around, and he's like the luckiest birding man alive. So yeah, if he's here, then the birds are here.
Yeah.
So excellent. So a good day so far. I've got 2 lifers for Kaylee.
For the black redstart, yeah. The black redstart, although I've seen one before, I've never seen one in this country, so this is the first for me as well. So that is excellent. So we're going to go and see if we can get the triple today for Kaylee and try and get a great grey shrike. Weather's getting a bit blustery because we're due a storm, but
the chance of seeing the great grey shrike is slim to nothing.
Pretty slim. But we're going to go anyway, as we're in the area, see if we can get a hat trick of cool birds and lifers for Kaylee. Have confidence. Stick with us.
When we got there, the wind was really picking up. We took a walk on a footpath into the clearfell and scanned all around. Great grey shrikes usually perch conspicuously. I heard a couple of birds, a song thrush and a wren, but not much more than that. We didn't see anything at all, and the weather was just getting worse and worse.
It's very windy!
Kaylee headed back to the car, and I soon joined her, looking out the car window to a gale and horizontal rain.
Hey folks, we're at the Great Grey Shrike spot, and we haven't seen it, so that's 2 out of 3 though, ain't bad. The weather has really come in. We were expecting a bit of a storm. It's horrendous outside. So we're going to call time on this bird for now, but keep with us.
With much improved weather, we headed out over the Runcorn Bridge to Widnes. In previous days, a Coomleen's gull, which is a subspecies of Iceland gull, had been spotted here. We thought this may be an easier one to get on our life list, until we arrived and saw how many gulls were there. There were hundreds and hundreds of gulls on the sandbanks. Kaylee set about scanning through them, with many of the gulls being herring gulls, lesser blackback gulls and the odd common gull. As we were about to give up, we spotted a few other birders and walked over. And although when we got to them, none of them had spotted the Coomleen's gull, before long one of them saw it fly in. How we picked it out, I have absolutely no idea, but we were happy he did. This gull isn't a far cry from a herring gull, but it has no black wingtips, and I think it's a little bit smaller too. You can see it here in the middle of the shot, preening just behind a herring gull. This subspecies breeds in Arctic Canada, usually wintering in Labrador or New England. This one arrived in England. Although dumbfounded at how eagle-eyed the bird was who spotted it, we were super happy to see this gull, leaving us with only Caspian gull on our year list to see. That's except for other rarities, of course.
How hard was that twitch, Nigel?
Pretty damn hard. There's like literally thousands upon thousands of gulls. And we just found another bird, well, few birders, but one of the guys picked it out somehow. I don't know, laser vision, magic.
There's literally
I really don't know.
tens of thousands of gulls.
But ultimately, we've got it. It's a subspecies, we think, of the Iceland gull, so we're adding that to the year list.
Yay!
Excellent.
Where are we going?
Hi folks, after that successful Coomleen's gull mission with the help of another birder, we wouldn't have found it otherwise.
Not a chance.
We're heading up Halkin Mountain in North Wales to see a bird we've seen this winter already, but it's one of my favourites. And there's lots of them there.
We're going up Halkin Mountain, you mean?
Halkin, well, what's the difference? Anyway, we're going to North Wales to find some waxwings. Join us.
Before we went home, I wanted to check out more of my favourite bird species, the waxwing. I know we've had it this year, but these birds don't always come to the UK in these numbers, so I was enjoying seeing them as much as I can. And apparently, the flock we were heading to was a big one. It didn't take us long to find them either. There was a large group of them in a tree by a farmhouse. Some of them were flying down to some berries in a bush, furiously eating the way waxwings do, like they've never eaten before. A small number of the waxwings were coming down onto the floor to pick up berries that other ones had dropped. After a short while, some of the flock moved, and then others followed, so we drove down the road to see if we can track them again. They'd found another berry tree, and they set about stripping all of the berries off of that too. Occasionally some birds coming down to drink out of puddles, and then going back into the trees to continue feeding. Although this has been a particularly good year in the UK for waxwings, I never tire of them. They are such pretty and charismatic little birds. They're almost like dressed up starlings with attitude, and seeing this lot was a great way to end our day and our video. Please like, please subscribe, and please press the notification bell. See you on the next adventure.